I've been watching over Diana for 10 years. I thought my devotion might make her glance back. But I didn't expect to end up as a casualty of her love. When I opened my eyes again, I decided to distance myself. Yet she begged me to love her once more, her voice filled with desperation. "What's wrong with Mike? Why won't you let us be together?" A familiar voice snapped me back to consciousness. Wasn't I supposed to be engulfed in flames right now? How am I here in front of Diana? Ouch. The pain in my abdomen made me wince, beads of sweat slipping down my face. Astonished, I looked down at my wound. A sharp object hit the floor with a clink. A fruit knife lay at Diana's feet, stained with crimson blood. "Victor, it's not my fault. You wouldn't let me go," she murmured, her trembling voice reminding me of the present moment. My expression darkened, and the adoration in my gaze vanished. "You can leave now," I said calmly, pain shadowing my tone. My eyes lowered, watching the red blotches spread across the white tiles like scattered blossoms, mocking my foolish hopes. Diana didn't expect I'd let her leave so easily. Her panic turned into anger in an instant. "Victor, are you using me to find Mike, just to make things difficult for him? You can forget about it." Her eyes were sharp, and her words no longer soft like they used to be. While she accused me, I handed her all her documents. I watched her walk away, then sank to the ground, overwhelmed by sadness. I had protected her for 10 years, loved her for 5, but I still lost out to someone who came later. I shook my head to push her out of my mind. Dragging myself toward the phone Diana had smashed on the floor, I realized the cracked screen wouldn't turn on, leaving me in despair. Just then, the front door opened and in walked my assistant Daisy, concern filling her gaze as she rushed to my side. She'd always been like this, risking everything to protect me. I knew she had feelings for me, but my heart had been preoccupied with Diana. I didn't dare to mess with those emotions. "Daisy, leave. I'm not worth it." She leaned down and kissed my lips, that tender feeling stopping my heart for a second. "You're mine now. I'm wherever you are." I watched her with a small smile, not sure if I was in a villa or still trapped in a raging fire. When I came to again, it was late at night. Daisy, in her white outfit now stained brown with dried blood, was dozing off beside my bed. An unfamiliar sense of peace bloomed within me, like a seed was slowly sprouting in my heart. I checked my phone and found all these messages from Diana. "Big bro, can you help me with a vacation? Remember that car I showed you yesterday? Can you get it for me?" I scoffed at the messages. Typical, I was her big brother when she needed something, Victor the rest of the time. Back then, I saw it as playful joking. Now, it just felt humiliating. I blocked all her contacts, planning to make it public once Daisy awakes that Diana and I are through. Diana was a child I took in from the orphanage. After losing my parents, I was alone. I just wanted someone to call family, but ended up losing my heart in the process. I smiled wryly, waking Daisy, asking her to sleep in the next bed. Still half asleep, she staggered into mine instead. I sighed, scooting over a bit as her hand wandered down my abdomen. I swallowed hard, trying to ignore the chaos in my mind. Her hand settled eventually, leaving me silently reciting calming mantras all night. I didn't even know when I finally dozed off. A phone ringing pulled me from sleep. Daisy had picked up my phone before I could stop her. I sighed, lighting a cigarette. "Who's this? Why are you answering Victor's phone?" Daisy froze, cheeks pink with embarrassment. She quickly took my cigarette, put it out and said, "You're a patient, no smoking," placing the phone in my hands before leaving the bed. Seemed normal, but I didn't miss the red tint on her earlobes. I cleared my throat, a bit unsure, and answered, "Victor, did you bring another woman home?" Diana said, hitting straight with accusations. "Diana, stay out of my affairs." My cold tone silenced her, but she quickly changed back to that soft, pleading voice. "Didn't you see my messages last night?" "I did. We're done. This is going public today, no more ties." "What? You're abandoning me?" Her voice grew sharp, tinged with disbelief. I didn't respond, just ended the call. To her, I'd always been the bank. Even now, after everything, Diana didn't ask about my injuries. If she's set on throwing herself in that trap with Mike, she's free to. I tried stopping her not to cage her, but so she'd learn to fly on her own. When she's tired, I thought I'd be the tree she could rest under. Until one day at a social event, I saw Mike holding a girl in his arms. He was holding the secondary credit card I had prepared for Diana, and all the transactions were for luxury goods. That evening at home, I called Diana to the living room to talk, but I was stunned by what she pulled out. "Is this what Mike gave you?" The items on the table matched the purchases on the card, but everything on the table was fake, not even good replicas. "What's wrong? Mike may not have money, but he chose these things with care. When he starts earning, he'll give me better stuff." Diana was not happy with my questions. She put her hands on her hips and pouted while defending Mike. She said it's not about the money, it's about the thought behind the gift. At that time, I thought she hadn't experienced love yet and would understand as time went on. But I didn't expect that when I showed her pictures of Mike with another woman at night. She tore them up. She cried and yelled at me angrily. "Victor, I know you look down on Mike, but you can't insult him like this. Yes, we use your money for gifts, but we have dignity too." It was then I realized Diana was in too deep. To protect her from getting hurt, I kept her at home. I knew breaking them up would upset her, so I prepared for her reactions. First, she refused to eat, so I bought her loads of snacks. Later, when she pretended she might harm herself, I sent her on a trip. But just a few days after she returned, she got in touch with Mike again. She was ready to take her documents and marry him. If I didn't agree, she wouldn't come back home. I confiscated all her documents, not expecting to anger her. She picked up a fruit knife and threatened me, saying she'd hurt herself if I didn't let her go. Worried, I tried to take the knife away. In the struggle, the knife stabbed into my abdomen. The door suddenly opened, interrupting my thoughts. Diana appeared before me looking innocent. "I didn't know you'd get hurt so badly." "I'm sorry," she said, placing a folder on the hospital bed. Her hands trembled as she tried to touch my wound. Just as she was about to reach it, I slapped her hand away. Her pale wrist turned red. A tear fell from her eye. I said it wasn't on purpose. "And you hit me. Look, it's swollen." I noticed a flash of calculation in her eyes. I couldn't help but let a sarcastic smile slip. "Oh, did I hurt you?" "Yes, see," she complained, showing her hand to me, looking for sympathy. When I didn't comfort her, impatience showed on her face. She shook my arm. "If you give me this Ferrari, I won't be mad." I looked at the car she pointed to and smirked. "That's for a man, not you. But this is the one I want. My friends from the orphanage are meeting up soon. I can't let Mike lose face." "No, it's for me," she insisted. I didn't say anything to stop her, just watched quietly. I had supported her for 10 years, treated her like family. Now, she was plotting against me for another man. This wasn't the first time, and it wouldn't be the last. Before, she even pretended to be kidnapped to scheme against me. "Victor, bring 30 million to the farm in the suburbs, or you won't see Diana again," Mike had said during a call that interrupted a meeting. "She's your girlfriend. Would you really hurt her?" I replied, sounding calm, but my palms were sweaty. Just then, I heard Diana's pained scream over the phone. I shot up from my chair, making a loud screech against the floor, and walked out quickly. I whispered comforting words to Diana while signaling Daisy. When I reached the farm, I saw Diana hanging from a second-floor beam. Her hands were red, and she had tears in her eyes, looking pitifully at me. "Brother, I'm wrong. He's been using me from the start. Save me, I promise to be good." Her soft voice, tinged with sobs, pained me. I rushed upstairs. Mike looked at me with a mix of smugness and disdain. But I didn't care about his expression. "Here's your money. Let Diana go. Throw it over and I'll release her." Mike laughed arrogantly, catching the card and moving towards Diana. But instead of releasing her, he held a knife to her neck. "I want more than just this. Sign that contract." I turned to see the document. A company transfer contract. I squinted at Mike, surprised by his audacity. Seeing my inaction, he pressed the knife closer to Diana's neck. A trickle of red appeared. "It hurts. "Brother, save me, I don't want to die." Hearing her call me brother made me forget all hesitation. Without looking at the contract, I scribbled my signature blindly, tossing the papers at Mike as Diana eagerly bent down to gather them. There was no sign of injury on her neck. Remembering how she conned me with someone else, my eyes welled with tears, but my voice was sarcastic. "Victor, you signed under my name. Aren't you afraid Mike would really kill me?" I looked at her, heartbroken. Initially, I truly believed she was kidnapped and was worried sick. But just when Mike got the bank card, he exchanged a look with Diana. That's when I realized it was all their scheme. You're his gold mine, so why would he get rid of you? Will you sign your name or not? Heartbroken and wanting nothing to do with her, I turned away. Behind me, Diana's sharp voice pierced through, sending a shiver down my spine. "You made me do this. With you gone, the company is mine. Die now, just die." Diana acted with lightning speed, leaving me defenseless. After several blows, I lay in a pool of my own blood. She tossed the knife aside and stamped her foot on my face. The once innocent and gentle face was now filled with malice. "Why are you the high and mighty CEO while I have to kiss up to people? Even the person I like, you had to repeatedly step between us. You think you're more capable than us? Fine, then the company is mine now." She spat on my face, spewing venom with every word. I wanted to retort, but blood filled my mouth. I could only watch as she poured gasoline over me. Flames spread across my body, and I closed my eyes unwillingly. Diana didn't wait for my answer. She pushed my shoulder, triggering a reflex in me. Grabbing her hand, I twisted her wrist the wrong way. The painful noise made me quickly let go. "He wanted a car to show off? Let him buy it himself, I'm no charity." "Victor, what do you mean? You know he can't afford it." Her eyes lost their softness, replaced by resentment. If I didn't buy Mike a car, I was a permanent villain in her eyes. "I'm telling you, if you don't buy it, you're no brother of mine." I laughed, all warmth gone from my look. I pulled out my phone and showed her. The arrogance drained from her face, turning ghostly pale. "Bro, this isn't real, you're joking, right?" Her panic pleased me. I carefully reread the morning's tweet announcing the end of Diana's sponsorship. The family's lifetime wish was to support orphans, and since Diana is now an adult with a boyfriend, the partnership ends. It read, "No joke. I revoked the contract right after you left yesterday." At that moment, the arrogant Diana had vanished. She took the phone from my hand. "Bro, I know you're mad at me for stabbing you and leaving yesterday. Punish me, scold me, but don't abandon me. You're my only family." I bitterly closed my eyes. "Once I considered you family, but you betrayed me for a man. Now you feel abandoned. Isn't that pain?" Only after Diana left did I open my eyes. I didn't want any more ties with her, but I couldn't just let those who wronged me live freely with my money. I picked up the phone to call Daisy. As soon as I opened the call screen, the door swung open forcefully. Seeing the door wobble back and forth, my mouth twitched. Daisy was quite strong. She was holding a lunchbox, her hair messy, clothes wrinkled. I was surprised. "Were you out catching bad guys?" I joked. "Diana's insane." As soon as I got out of the car, she yanked my hair. She complained. For a split second, I thought she was incredibly fierce too, getting into a fight just like that. Seeing my amused expression, Daisy handed me the lunchbox. I didn't know why, but lately, Daisy seemed different. She used to greet me with a polite smile every time she saw me, always calling me boss respectfully. These past few days, she's been more like a tough manager. If something slightly displeased me, she'd get furious. "What are you looking at? Eat," she snapped. "Your hand isn't broken, is it? Why wait for someone to feed you?" She took a deep breath, calming herself. Moving closer to pick up the lunchbox from me, she tripped over the bed leg, landing right on my lips. The soft touch made my eyes widen. Despite being a CEO, I wasn't very experienced with feelings. Slowly, we closed our eyes, until a surprised voice interrupted the moment. Even after the nurse left with the thermometer, I couldn't meet Daisy's eyes. It was an accident, but I had clearly taken advantage of it. "Daisy, seeing my discomfort, slapped my leg lightly. Nothing to be embarrassed about, we're adults. Standing up, she continued in a softer voice. Besides, you agreed to be mine from now on, even if you don't know it yet. But I took it seriously. Her words weren't lost on me. Seeing her made me happy, but also more guilty. Since discovering Daisy was reborn too, my feelings for her started to change. While in the hospital, I had Daisy get in touch with legal to pursue Mike for all the money he'd spent using the supplementary card over the years. He'd likely have a subpoena in 2 days. Arriving at the office in the morning, I noticed Daisy signaling something to me. At first, I expected her to be up to some mischief. But when I responded, she pointed at my office. Nodding, I headed in that direction. Inside, I found Diana curled up on the couch barefoot. When she heard me, she moved quickly towards me. Dressed in a low-cut top and a mini skirt, she looked like any small stretch would reveal too much. With smudged panda eyes and smeared lipstick, she approached me with the heavy scent of a hangover looming. I wanted to make her tidy up, but then I remembered we had no more ties. Now I don't have to act like a nagging mom anymore. It's not appropriate for you to be at the company, so leave immediately. No way, Victor. The money you gave me is mine, so what's up with suing Mike? When she first walked in, I thought she couldn't handle the outside world. Maybe she wanted to apologize and come back to live under my protection. I didn't expect her to defend Mike so much even when she was struggling herself. Helping you was part of our agreement. I let you live the high life because I saw you as family. But who is Mike to you to threaten me like this? I used to feel anxious hearing such things, worried about what I'd do if something really happened to her. But now seeing her acting so unreasonable, I feel like I must have been blind and quite foolish. Even if it means dying, Mike has to pay up, otherwise it's jail time and you won't escape. Daisy has been gathering evidence of Mike using the secondary card everywhere. Adding up the bills, it amounts to 5 million. Such a huge amount would make anyone panic. Diana, seeing I wasn't budging, turned into a ruckus in the office. The end result was her being escorted out by security. Everyone in the company knows Diana is no longer Victor's favorite. I found out about all this from Daisy. As soon as Diana was out, Daisy showed up, full of gossip. TSK, TSK, TSK. Looks like our boss's heart is playing musical chairs. Wonder who the lucky lady is. Women are terrifying. I'm taking a break from that. Daisy, in 10-inch heels, angrily stood in front of me. I looked at the soft woman, a smile forming at the corner of my mouth. Victor, have you become irresponsible? Seeing her like this feels so real. I pulled the angry Daisy into a gentle hug, barely noticing the online rumors against me. Daisy's slightly pouted lips made me feel parched. I leaned in slowly, almost kissing those tempting lips, when my phone rang and I frowned. Victor, have you and your little girlfriend fallen out? She's spreading rumors online. I hung up the call from my friend Nathan, opened Twitter and saw Diana's panicked face towards the door. My shadow in the picture perfectly captured by the light. Then a video popped up. Diana was desperately pounding on a door, calling out, "Brother, I was wrong. Please let me out." Caption read, "The brother I always respected hurt me time and again, then abandoned me." It only took 10 minutes to throw me into turmoil. Even the company's social media was attacked by self-proclaimed online justice. Seeing the timestamp, my face darkened, anger boiling in my eyes. She posted this right after leaving the company, meaning she was prepared for both outcomes. If I agreed to let Mike off, we would go our separate ways. But if not, then mutual destruction. Quite the plan. Not something a 23-year-old should be capable of. I fell into deep thought. Even if I'm slow to realize, I know someone is backing Diana. Just not sure if it's someone close to me or a rival. Right now, it's like I'm lost in a foggy forest. Can't see the way forward. Daisy's cool fingers smoothed my furrowed brow. I'll be by your side, and we'll find out who did this to us back then. All day I was busy at the company, reassuring partners. By evening I checked Twitter again. The negative chatter about me was at its peak. Then Diana dropped another bomb online. She posted a picture of the lawsuit my lawyer sent to Mike. highlighting the amounts in the suit. Who knew Victor would demand money after sponsoring a student? Want the truth? Come to my stream. Seeing her smear my name, sadness swept over me. The money wasn't even spent on her, yet she taints my name for nothing. Even a dog would wag its tail if you threw it a bone. Such betrayal stretches my belief system. Frustrated, I rubbed my forehead, then tuned into her live stream. Diana donned a white dress. Tears brimmed and she looked pale, staring into the camera. The comments comforted her, urging her to fight back legally. She silently wiped her eyes. After a while, she breathed deeply and flashed a defiant smile. I truly appreciate Victor's 10 years of support, but feelings can't be forced. A while back, I rejected his confession, and he started to give me a hard time. Now he's blaming my past expenses on my boyfriend. As Diana narrated, tears fell again. I watched her terrible acting with a cold laugh, debating if I should tally what was spent on her and send it over. Then a comment from a netizen caught my eye. Trying to become a streamer? Even the rival CEO's girlfriend has spoken out. I exited Diana's stream to see Daisy fiercely typing back. The footage on her tablet showed me holding her earlier, gently reassuring. That was captured when she allowed me to kiss her, not expecting it to be here. Suddenly, online sentiment swayed to my side. I didn't expect Daisy to reveal our relationship now. I never expected she'd face Diana head on herself. Daisy, are you trying to clear Victor's name, even risking your own reputation? I was still lost in the comfort Daisy gave me. Then Diana's voice broke the silence, and I saw them already on a call together. To prevent my new girlfriend from feeling upset, I immediately picked up my phone and called Daisy. Babe, I've ordered you some takeout. Make sure you eat it and rest afterward. The two of us chatted for 5 minutes right in front of Diana. The comments below exploded. Oh my God. It's like a novel playing out in real life. Is this a powerful CEO protecting his wife? I can't believe Diana. Ignoring an eligible guy for some freeloader? Seriously? But the CEO's taking the high road, doing good with kindness, yet ends up getting bashed online. Seeing the change in direction, I sent Daisy a text. Soon, I saw Daisy gracefully brush her hair to the side. Her deep and mature voice came through. Please understand that our legal department will hold Miss Diana accountable and reclaim all previous expenses. We plan to donate the money to children in need in rural areas. After Daisy ended the call and shut down the live stream, I posted a video from my home on social media. Proved everything Diana said was false. Those who initially trashed me at night turned their fury onto Diana. People even started digging into her whereabouts. They wanted to know what kind of person benefits and still bites the hand that feeds them. The silly drama came to an end here. If she reveals the person behind all this, I won't pursue the past expenses. But the next day, Diana ignored all my calls. Not sure if she's scared I'll make her repay or just doesn't want to face me. She didn't want to show up, and I had no desire to deal with her anymore. Life went back to normal. I hadn't seen her for 2 weeks since the live stream. I liked the freedom, spending time with Daisy every day, building our relationship. After work, I took Daisy to see a movie. I still had a little flutter in my heart, thinking that, in the quietness of the night, maybe we could chat about life. Who knew Daisy's mom would call her away? I reluctantly drove her home. Before getting out, Daisy grabbed my tie. She pulled me close, her soft lips pressed against mine. After a second of surprise, I regained control. I only let her go when she was breathless. I kissed her forehead. Just when I thought she was leaving, she leaned in close, her mouth brushing my ear. Her intoxicating scent clouded my mind. Tomorrow night, I'm definitely sleeping with you. Boom. Something snapped in my head. I wanted to hold her tight, feel her merge into me. Clenching my fists, I pulled myself back from the edge of losing control. I looked at her helplessly, seeing her eyes teasing my reaction. There was a hint of frustration, but I forced myself to stay cool. I recited calming mantras all the way back home. As soon as I opened the door, I got a shock. Diana was there, wearing a transparent nightgown, her perfect figure barely concealed by the thin fabric. Seeing me come in, her face lit up with a smile. "You're back. I've been waiting so long." She approached, trying to hug me. I grabbed a blanket from the entrance and tossed it at her. "What are you doing?" "Victor, don't you like me? I'm here for you now." She knew I once genuinely liked her. Yet she always mentioned Mike and trampled on everything I did for her. Now she's talking about love. What a load of crap. That was in the past. Now I have a girlfriend. No, Victor. You said you'd always be by my side. Now you're hurting me for Daisy. Why? Her crazed accusations made it seem like I betrayed her. I found it pathetic. I took a cigarette from the table and lit it. Thinking about how Daisy didn't like it, I took it out again. "Diana, you've got some nerve, twisting the truth like that. You've got a boyfriend, you stay with him. I have my own woman to be with now. Besides, being with you, who knows when you might kill me." Memories of my tragic end surfaced, making my expression colder. I just wanted her gone. "Victor, I'm sorry. Forgive me, please. Don't leave me." She tore off her clothes, coming at me naked. "Daisy can do it, I can too. You've loved me so long, you can't just forget." As she lunged, Mike walked out from the bathroom, a devilish grin on his face. "Victor, I'll destroy the photos." Standing in such a position that, no matter how you look at it, it's the scene they wanted to capture. Diana beamed, running into Mike's arms. "Drop the charges, give us $1 million, and these photos won't reach your girlfriend. Otherwise," Mike didn't need to finish the threat. I knew what he'd say. I looked at Diana blankly. Dogs really can't change their nature. 2 lifetimes and they still use the same trick to blackmail me. They really thought I wouldn't see it coming. Just because they laid low recently doesn't mean I didn't pay attention. After my rebirth, Daisy and I revisited the past details. We found out my dad's old secretary, Lucy, orchestrated it all. Diana is her daughter. She was with me to avenge her father. Her father was the head of the finance department. Caught embezzling, my dad had him jailed. The stress caused Lucy to miscarry before I was born. From that moment on, Lucy swore to make my family pay. When she found out I was going to sponsor kids at the orphanage, she sent her daughter there. She even bribed the head of the orphanage to have Diana stand at the front. Everyone around me knew I had a cleanliness obsession. So naturally, I picked the clean and adorable one at first glance. It's been 10 years, and I just found out I fell into their trap from the start. After learning the truth, I patiently waited for them to take the bait. I never expected I just needed to strike twice. They hid like rats in a sewer, never showing themselves. Until one night when I was having dinner with Daisy, my phone notified me someone was at the door. I checked the cameras and saw Diana and Mike sneaking around outside. "Can't you remember the password? It's been ages and you still haven't got it open. Stop rushing me. Okay? It's been so long since I've been here. I forgot." The next second, I unlocked the entry. They didn't sense anything was off and boldly insulted me with excitement. "Victor must be an idiot, right? He said he'd cut ties with you but hasn't even changed the password. He likes me, so of course he'll hold on to me." Diana smugly raised her eyebrows and signaled to Mike to go to my study. They grabbed the bidding documents and prepared to leave. But before they got out the door, Lucy called. "You wreck Victor tonight or you'll never get another chance." "Mom, no way. As long as he has feelings for me, he'll always be under my thumb." Listening to Diana's confident words, I realized it was my bottomless indulgence that hurt me in the past. I bitterly watched them through the cameras, clenching my fists. Those two plotting against me in my own home. Once I knew their entire plan, I turned off the camera. "Victor, you don't want everyone to think you're a playboy, do you?" "I'm not afraid. Do your worst." Whatever else they said, I pretended not to hear. Seeing no response from me, they got furious. "Fine, if you won't give us money, don't bother showing up at all." Mike's voice was cold with a touch of anger. He grabbed a fruit knife from the plate, standing behind me. Timing it with the clock on the wall, we started brawling. The door burst open. In my carelessness, the knife plunged into my side. I looked down at the dripping blood with a bitter smile. Helplessly, I shook my head and collapsed to the floor. As I closed my eyes, I saw Daisy rushing towards me in a panic. When I opened them again, It was already daytime. Daisy was pouting, staring at me angrily. Do you think you're tough enough to stop that knife from hitting your heart? We agreed you'd stall them while I called the cops. Why'd you end up fighting? Tears streamed down her face, and it broke my heart. I wiped them away with my hand. Without finishing it, they'd come back for more. Before parting, I told Daisy to call the police when she got my signal. I made the call right before entering my house, pretending I just discovered someone inside. I wanted the cops to arrest them for burglary. But as I listened to the three of them discuss how they wouldn't stop until I was destroyed, I decided to make sure they couldn't get away. So, as the police burst in, I seized Mike's hand. Little did I know, as I let go, he turned the knife on me. Though the plan was mine, he showed murderous intent. Getting caught was what he deserved. When I was finally discharged, the cops called. Diana wanted to see me. I thought about not going, but they said she was terminally ill. Out of compassion, I went to see her. Victor, if I hadn't hurt you, would we have been together? No. No matter the past, I'd never be with Diana. Because of the malice in her soul, I'd have discovered it eventually. It wasn't until I was with Daisy that I learned what love really meant. With Diana, it was never passion. Just a craving for companionship, a need for family. I stood up and walked out. Behind me, I heard her say in repentance, Victor, I was wrong. I'm sorry. When a sincere heart gets trampled beneath someone's feet, picking it back up becomes worthless. A heartless person like her could never truly repent. At the stairwell, I crossed paths with Lucy. Gray hair, her face etched by life's trials, her eyes brimming with hatred. She even spat at me. Victor, you wrecked our family. You all deserve to die. Her venomous curse didn't stick with me. Both she and her daughter were jailed, and her husband died in prison 3 years ago. No matter what happened, I could face my conscience. Without a backward glance, I walked downstairs. Seeing Daisy standing in the bright sun, my heart ached for her. I hurried towards her and noticed she held an ultrasound printout. Eyeing the image, my eyes welled up with tears. This is wonderful. I'm no longer alone in this world. I'll have a child who shares my blood and a wife who's my everything. The future ahead is surely bright.